Are there any other questions for Mr. Collins or Mr. Forstaff? Councilor Jordan.
Will you provide us with all minutes of CNI meetings for the past year?
Okay.
I'd like to.
Yes, sir. Councilor Bishop.
In addition to that, I have asked by request, and I think you've got it. I haven't received it yet. The minutes of the board meeting where you all approved the oversight of a couple of our projects, and it was ruled not a conflict of interest.
Okay. Can I speak to it to see if that answers the question, and then if there's information or something I can provide? The CNI board pre-approved the engagement of the Ross Group, which is led by board member Warren Ross. A conflict of interest statement was submitted to the CNI Ethics Committee, which includes a member of the CNI board, and was made available to the CNI chairman. The Ross Group is being reimbursed for its actual cost of this project. They will be completed with their task this Friday. So that is, I believe, the request for the engagement process. So it transpired. I do not have a. When I went back and checked the minutes, there's nothing on the minutes because we were in executive session when this was discussed, and where the authority of what I needed to do was, directed from our board. But full disclosure was made to the board prior to. Flintco was contracted to assist once I had a need for additional oversight at the Bentley Park. So Flintco was assisted in scheduling and overseeing remediation of deficiencies with our staff, just so that I would have assurance that I had another set of eyes looking at it independently of any of our internal staff. Those are the two situations. I'm not sure what else I could provide you. I can tell you the minutes do not reflect that approval.
I would like our attorney to look at us and give us an opinion that says one of our board members leads a group that the board decided to do business with, and it's not a conflict of interest if Todd's around. Because I'm having trouble with that.
Okay.
Okay.
And that approval's not on the minutes. There's nothing about that on the minutes.
Not on the minutes. But there is a conflict of interest statement.
And I'd like a copy of that, please.
Okay. Since that's not in my possession, I'll ask to try to move that forward, and if I can't get that copy, I will ask them to notify you.
Can you tell me who's on the board that you said that was submitted to?
The Ethics Committee has it's Bob Huffman, Sharon Bertram, Bill Grass. I don't know if there could be one, or there could be someone else. I don't recall off the top of my head. That's who I recall, but I'll have to validate that.
Bill's the one that we just approved, right? Bill Grass today?
I believe so. I wasn't here for that meeting, so.
Who appoints them to the ethics, or how does that form?
I'm not sure. I mean, it could be the board.
Anybody know the answer?
I think that's probably a question of Mr. Stewart, C&B.
Slayton, do you know?
I didn't hear your question, Johnny.
The Ethics Commission, Bob Huffman, Sharon Bertram, and Bill Grass. How did they get on the ethics board?
I don't know the answer to that question. I'm sure it's an appointment.
An appointment? Who appoints them, do you think?
Ms. Kay.
I believe the boards appoint their own committees.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Mr. Collins? Okay. Thanks very much, Brian.
Okay.
Next is Career Services, Ms. Kelly. And we appreciate everyone's patience very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have two things that I've sent this to you on email with my report for this month, but I understand you won't get that till the end of the month. So I have hard copies copies. This is the day work report, and the chief said to get it to you guys, so I've got it. The day work participants have been working around the clock to pull this data off for you. Some of the information that's here is information that our Secretary Treasurer asked for. Some is what the chief asked for. Some is what our Secretary of State asked for. Some is just information in general. We were particularly interested in knowing the number of people on our day work that we needed to look at the background checks on, because we do have a high number that had warrants, criminal background. That's why they couldn't get jobs. We are working with some of those to try to get their fees paid for so they don't get arrested. And there's a narrative on page 17 that gives you a projection and a narrative about the program and the amount of money. And then we've got the work sites on the back. And this is a very comprehensive report. There are 5 other things that will be added to the next report you get from us on day work, and the staff are working on those. And I will add that when I say the staff, we have employment and training staff that are overseeing it, but the staff that are actually doing the work are day work participants, and some of them have been converted over to work experience, and they're gone to OJT. And they're doing a really good job. In fact, one of them got a job yesterday, and she's given us her 2-week notice. And some very positive things are coming out of it. Very good information. When you look at the number there, like I said, the number with Cherokee County, we know that some of these people are coming over into Cherokee County because that's where a lot of the placements are. They're coming in from Mays, Delaware, Cherokee, Muskogee County, because we just don't have the job sites in those other locations. So that's a little bit skewed. And the addresses they're giving us are Cherokee County addresses, and they're probably some of their relatives to get on.
Counselor Cobb.
I've just got a quick question. I don't see any participants from Washington County, but I see payouts on page 4. How does that work?
That's a good one.
Just curious.
What page are you looking at?
Number 4 at the top.
Page 4, payouts. Let's see, Washington, there was 14.
I don't see any participants.
Well, they probably came to another county. I don't know.
Okay. Well, and I also have another. I'm just curious.
I don't know.
I
I'll
noticed
check it
on
though.
all the rest of these, Washington County is not anywhere on here.
That's probably because we don't have any. They came to a different count. They
meant
came to a different location to get placed.
So it all plugs into
Yes,
how they.
yeah, just like some of them are coming over here to Cherokee County.
Okay.
Now, if you'll notice on page 4, there's a total of 11,090. That's 11,090 payouts. That's Jack Baker could have got a card for 1 half day, and Chuck Hoskins could have got one for 4 weeks. So that's the number of cards that we've issued. And the report at the front is the number that we've. This was as of January 1. Of course, those numbers are up in the thousands now. And if you look at the page 3, you can look at the payouts per day. And if you look from 1/1/2010 to 2/1/2010, you can see where that grid is just kind of on a straight. That's because people got their unemployment and they got their income tax. And so they're going to start coming back in, we know. But that's okay. Questions?
Yes, Counselor Jordan.
Diane, would it be possible for you to somehow get with Norma Merriman's group and figure out how much we saved in Norma Merriman's department by having the day work program implemented? In other words, if people are working here, they're not having to use her department for some of the emergency aid. And my hopes is we're going to find that it was basically it's kind of a wash. You know, what they're getting here, we're not handing to them in another department, and they're taking pride in what they're doing here.
I would say that it's probably had some effect on her program, but I don't think it's had that much effect, but I would say it's had some.
But would you not agree that this program is instilling pride in the people that are participating?
Yeah, because the caliber of people that's coming through on day work, there would be a few that would be going down to social services and asking for those emergency services, but there's a big majority of them that you wouldn't see down there because they're just coming in because you had students who came in between semesters and they wouldn't be going down there for general assistance. And then you've also got some of these seasonal workers that are in between layoff jobs that they can't draw their unemployment and they know they're going to get called back in about 3 or 4 weeks, so they wouldn't be down there either. So
could you maybe check on that and just see
we can
what-
check on it.
Thank you.
I also have information here about the points of contact. You all had asked, I don't remember, somebody had asked about who they needed to contact in each office. This gives you a list of names, phone numbers, and cell phone numbers, and their email address for referrals, that if you've got a constituent in Craig County, Mr. Hoskins, this will tell you who you can refer to.
Councilman Hoskins, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. On page 11, Terrell job bank card completed by county. Am I reading it right that we have some applicants, or we have some participants rather, who have filled out, and additionally filled out a job bank card, and some who do not?
Yeah.
It's their choice?
Yeah, it's your choice. You take somebody who has a college degree that's come through, they're filling out those job bank cards because they're wanting a higher paying job, and you've got some people that don't have any skills, haven't had any training, and they're coming in for day work because this is the first time something like this has been offered, and they're taking advantage of it, so they don't have any skills or training.
Does it make any sense at all to require that they, regardless of their skill level, fill out a job bank card so we have them, or would that not really serve any useful end?
It wouldn't serve any purpose because the job bank card is for people who are either employed or people who are not employed that have some sort of training or skills that they can offer so that they can be marketed out in the area. Now, one thing that we are going to do that I'll tell you about, we're getting ready to do a reverse job fair. I don't know if you know what that is. A reverse job fair is, because of the economy, we're not going to ask businesses to come in and set up. Why? Because they're not employing anybody. But they do have a need to have a good pool of people that they can pull from when they have to terminate someone, or else they are looking to add a couple of lines or whatever. So we're going to utilize Kelly Forrest in our social skills, life skills program. She's going to work with all of the counselors. They're going to identify some of their workers, people that they're working with, that they can bring in, that we can work with to more or less polish them, help develop a resume, and we're going to set them up and let them give out their resumes and let them sell themselves to all these different employers. And I visited with the State Employment Service, and they've got people that they want to bring in with us as well, but of course we're going to take most of the slots ourselves because we're the ones that came up with it. And it's my staff that's going to go through and call out all their participants, because if you've got people that have college degrees right now, they're having a hard time getting jobs because they don't have job experience, and a lot of the jobs that are out there require job experience, and they're not going to be able to get it. So our thoughts are is if we start working with them, we can help them in developing their resumes, help them with their dress and selling themselves, then those employers will want to come in and look at these candidates and say they remembered Chris Soap or they remembered Shelley Britton when they went through for the reverse job fair, and they will have them in mind. We've had day workers that have come in our office and said they had been called in for interviews, and they said they knew that the only reason they got called in for these interviews was because of the day work program, because some of these entities seen them and knew that they were good workers, and they said they'd been trying for months upon months to get interviews. And they said had it not been for day work, nobody would have noticed them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Watts.
Mr. Chair, just because of the time of the day, I know that we probably have questions for some of the presenters, but if we could maybe wrap it up in 15, 20 minutes to recess until next Tuesday, then at least get through the presenters who stayed for the last hour or so, and get through the reports maybe. Would that be okay?
Do you have anything else, Ms. Kelly?
I don't have anything unless you have any questions,
Anybody?
Nate.
Counselor
Comment.
Jordan.
I just want to tell you how much I appreciate this program, and I'm just amazed that who would have thought in 2007 when we had that ice storm and Councilor Fishing Hawk asked for those people to be allowed to come over and help with the ice storm victims, and you undertook that obligation that it would turn into the successful project that the two of you all envisioned at that time. I'm just very proud of what you've done. I want to thank you for it.
The staff are to be commended for it. And I have to commend the chief as well as you all for making sure that we had monies to operate this program on. Because if somebody hadn't have thought about it and we hadn't been working to try to get it off the ground and running, it wouldn't be here today. And I know that it's a good program. I don't have anything on tarot because I figure you'll get to that sooner or later.
Okay, thank you. Nick?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I know we're probably going to recess a little bit, but I would like to amend the agenda for an item number 5. There's a copy of the act in front of everybody. It's an act that we all did unanimously 2 or 3 years ago when we had some kids that were accepted to the military academy. And all it does is, we're not going to be out anything on scholarships for them, but they have to pay a fee up front, and get there. It runs around $3,000. So I'd like to amend the agenda for item number 5 to look at this piece of legislation so that we can help those kids that get into the military academy.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it will be placed on the agenda as item 5. Next is Commerce, Ms. Knight.
Good evening. We have a copy of my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Ms. Knight? Yes, Ms.
I got
Fisher.
a quick question. We hired a lawyer to look at election form laws, and we got her on a $50,000 contract, and the contract was sole sourced to her. Could you get back to me? I've got 2 questions. One, was she a tarot vendor or is she Cherokee? And number 2, why was it sole sourced? And you can just get back to me on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Knight? Okay.
All right. Thank you.
From the Cherokee National Historical Society, no, Mr. Tilley.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Appreciate the chance to talk to y'all today. I'll keep it real brief. I know it's been long. You have a copy of my report, and I encourage you all to really look at it closely. We're proud of the numbers that we've been doing over at the Heritage Center. Financially, we're in good shape. From an attendance perspective, we're in good shape, and I feel like we've been offering some quality programs over there to the Cherokee people and people who want to learn about the Cherokee people. So if you'll take a look at that when you have some time, and I'll be glad to answer any questions now or at any time. I'm available. So, are there any questions?
Are there any questions for Mr. Tilley? Okay, thanks very much. Next is Cherokee Nation Education Corporation. Shelley Butler Allen and Kimberly
Gilliland. Hi, you have a copy of our report. We'll be happy to address any questions.
Are there any questions for Kimberly or Shelley?
This is something for one of your board meetings, but I just find myself having to explain the difference between.
Yes.
Is there just between what you do and what the education department does, and people just
Higher
really,
education.
constituents just that are scholarship and students, they just don't understand the difference. And I spend, I don't know how long at community meetings and all that, and they'll talk about something. Now that is the education department, so
Yeah.
just maybe some kind of an outreach, or what? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, there is that confusion that exists, but the simple answer is the Cherokee Nation higher education scholarships are federally driven as well as tribally funded. Our scholarship, Cherokee Nation Education Corporations, are a nonprofit 501. So, I mean, you know
I think
that,
where I'm
but-
going with that is,
Yeah.
I don't know
But
if Tanya's in here, but if there could be some delineation on the website of, because people just don't understand that. That's all I have.
Okay, yeah,
That
good.
was just a suggestion.
We will.
Very good.
And we have brought copies of this year's scholarship application.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's probably why I get fined for having
Ah.
a couple copies.
I know.
You built it.
I'm dangerous. Let me
You get one?
clean up.
Any other questions?
One or two.
Okay. No other questions for Kimberly? Okay, thanks very much. Okay. Once again, I appreciate everyone staying for your reports. Next, we have our consent items. We have the tarot certifications, which, Counselor Watts.
Thank you. On the tarot certifications, I would like to move to approve it with one exception on the Bearwood cabinet. I think it's Bearwood. Is that it be moved to pending status for an additional review because there was findings that the second review was not done appropriately. The Bearwood native.
But I want to point out, there's the items starting on page 23 of the packet, plus there's also a handout with additional ones. So does your motion include both of those?
It's to the revised one that was also emailed to us prior to this meeting, I believe, so.
But your motion is to approve both of them, both lists.
Are they, I thought they were, the second
No.
one's saying, so these are in addition, I misunderstood. Yeah, that's fine, I reviewed both, so, but the Bearwood Native LLC needs an opportunity to be properly reviewed before being considered for denial again.
Okay, so you're asking that it be,
Moved to pending status officially.
okay. So the motion made and seconded, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Under the cemetery preservation assistance, which is part of the budget mod,
Yes, there
looks
was
like we have one.
several new ones since the report. I'll run down through them real quick. In addition to the one in the report, McClure Cemetery in Three Rivers District, Scott Cemetery in Craig, Barber Cemetery in Cherokee, Jeffrey Beck Cemetery in Delaware, Holt Cemetery in Sequoia, South Bethel Cemetery in Three Rivers, and Stills Cemetery in Sequoia.
Plus, the one that was in the handout was Lynch Prairie and Mace. Counselor Jordan.
Who signed the Barber Cemetery request?
Wouldn't have a clue. Can I get back with you on that? I go dig through her.
Well,
I know where she keeps a file.
My reason is, I understood from talking to several individuals out there that there was no longer an organized group. I think we probably need to figure out where the money's going before it gets approved. Not that they don't need the money, my parents are actually buried out there, but it's not being taken care of right now. And so I would like more information before we cut that check.
So you're going to make a motion to approve all of them except for that one?
And table that one?
And table that one? Because we have ENF again in 2 weeks.
Okay, can we just hold it over till the 16th, since we're thinking about recessing? And I'll have the information by then.
Mr. Chair, point of order. So if you table it, if that's the continuation of the same meeting, you can bring it off the table at that time, but we can go ahead and free these.
Right, I don't
Today.
want to hold anybody else up, and
I'll
and I
make
may
the
not want
motion
to hold them up.
to approve all but table the one.
To the next meeting.
Till next week.
Until the next meeting or until?
It is
well,
the same
right,
meeting.
same meeting, right.
So they could pull it off the table at that meeting.
Okay. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We carry. Law enforcement requests?
Have 5, Bartlesville Police Department. Mr. Cobb will be depleting his balance. Also want to point out the motor vehicle tax apportionment was calculated, and the amount of $16,254 went into each account. And I know we've been talking about that for several months. The other ones this month are Shoto Police Department, $7,000, Mr. Soap. Call Cord, $7,000, $3,500 each. Bozer Snell. Delaware County Sheriff's Department, $5,000 each, Mr. Bozer, Mr. Snell. And Kansas Police Department, $5,000, Mr. Snell.
Okay. Do we hear a motion for their approval?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are approved. Next are roads.
The only roads for this month, by the way, the vehicle tax allocation for the roads is $87,212 each. There's no motor fuel tax roads or vehicle tax road request this month, only a refund of a driveway project, Mr. Thornton's area, and a church road project on the Bridge Access Fund, District 1 split, $5,531 each council.
Okay. Do we hear a motion for their approval?
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move
That's
to
what-
recess until Tuesday, the February 15th at 11 a.m.
Okay. The motion's been made to recess until next Tuesday at 11. Our other committees start at 1. Is there a second?
If you'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
Discussion. Could we not go ahead and take care of a few of these new business items?
Well, the motion's been made to recess. I believe that takes precedent.
It's discussion, right?
But are we allowed to discuss recessing? We aren't adjournment or tabling.
Hold on
Is
and I'll
Todd
look.
here?
I have this, hold on.
Chair, may I make a statement?
Pardon?
Or a question?
Yes.
Question or statements to Doug. What about the budget mod? How will this affect the budget mod for?
Okay, you're kind of planning recessing till Tuesday and
Until
Tuesday
next
night?
Tuesday, which is before the council meeting.
So, after you take up the mod package in the recess meeting, then.
Till 11, okay, I'll just work through.
11 o'clock next Tuesday, and our other committee started at 1.
So we can move Terrell out of this committee to full council that night?
Yeah.
I'm tired of waiting on that.
Second is
Okay.
required. If the musical.
Okay. So,
I don't believe it's debatable.
It's not debatable.
okay. So the motion's been made until, that we recess until 11 o'clock next Tuesday, which is before our tribal council meeting. That we recess until then.
Call for question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One opposed. So, good. So we are recessed.